next piece is a new piece called My Friend. And this particular piece has, oh my goodness, has a whole bunch of steps in it. And you remember a step is from line to space or space to line. Okay, right next to each other. So the first thing we're going to do is why don't we tap the rhythm and count it out loud.
Ooh, polo. Or
Yes.
says that it's new.
Yes, it's new. So what's our time signature for My Friend?
It is 3/4.
3/4. All right, so.
And I know that the top one is how many beats in each measure.
Absolutely, very good. So how about if you tap and I'm going to point. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. And you could just tap. Now, don't worry about what the finger is.
Okay.
Okay, and you can count it.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Which hand? Which hand? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good, let's repeat it.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, which two measures were actually the most tricky for the rhythm? Really not the rhythm, it was just the hands, right? Which one? Where did you stumble?
I stumbled
There.
here and here.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do those measures, just those measures. So which hand plays all those measures?
All of
The measures that we're going to really isolate and work on. Which measures? Yeah, with the left hand. Okay, can we take it from right here? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Very good. Does that feel better? Yeah, it feels a lot better, doesn't it? Isn't that a good idea that you go through something, you think, oh, well, it was almost all really comfortable, but there was just a little bit of the piece that wasn't as comfortable, right? So that's when we zone in on those little sections that are not as comfortable as the others, until they are, right? It's a good way to practice. Okay, so now let's go ahead, and I'm going to point, and I'd like for you to say the words.
Okay.
I see my friend from my window, climbing a tree, waving at me. It looks like fun, and so I'll go after I munch this tasty lunch. So would you eat your tasty lunch and then go see your friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good plan, isn't it? Okay, so the name of the very first note, I'm going to ask you that. What is the name of that first note? There's a guide note that's very close to that first note. So what guide note is the closest? Is it middle C or treble G?
F.
Oh my gosh, yes, but tell me, before you tell me that fabulous name of that note, what guide note was the closest to that F?
Treble D.
Yes, oh my goodness, you're so smart. Very good.
Because I was like, this is D right by the line, this is E on the line, and so this is F.
Right, and so you can always think of your guide notes though first. So find that guide note of G and then say it's a step down or up from G. What is it, a
Well-
step down or up from G?
Down.
Down, right. So find the treble G on the piano. Good, and then go down to find the F, and then put which finger on the F? Good. All right, so now before we really play this piece, the last practice step says circle the steps in your music. So let's do that. The very first note, which you told me was an F. The second note, is that a step? From space to line?
Yes.
Yes, you want to circle that then? Just ever so lightly, ever so lightly. step going down. Oh. And then what about this note to this note? Is that also a step from a line to a space? Yep. Very good. And let's see, how about if you choose one more measure that has nothing but steps in it? Has to be line to space, right? Or space to line. So right next to each other. Yes, that's a measure that has nothing but steps in it. Good for you. Very good. So, how about if we find those notes on the piano? Won't that be fun? Okay, so find that first note. Good, there's the F. This is very good. So can you tell me the names of those notes? Good. And then this is the exact same pattern, isn't it? Good. Now find a measure that has, again, the exact same pattern. Where do you see the same pattern again? Yes, let's play that. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at your left-hand notes. There are how many guide notes do you see that you have to play in your left hand? In your left hand? Yeah, what are your two guide notes that you're going to play? Yes, oh my gosh, you're so smart. Very good. So let's go ahead and play just the second line today. All right, just a second. We'll take it at this speed. 1, 2, 3.
So that's a G.
Well, you just played for me those two guide notes. So what are they? Guide note F and C. There you go. Absolutely. You could actually put your right hand down because, yeah, for now. Okay. So just let's play those two measures. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Feel comfortable? Okay, so why don't you go ahead and put your right hand up to those 3 notes that you played before. Very good. And then your last note is going to be played with which hand? Yes. All right, do you want to try the whole last line? All right, maybe this beat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good. You'll be able to practice that really well. So let's say every day you're going to play that 5 times. And some days you could start with a second line. And some days you could start with a first line, right? Mix it all up, right? So you really know it.
Or I could do G, and then I could just do
Right, absolutely. That's a really good way to practice it as well. All different ways to practice our pieces, so they're wonderful. Very good.